What day is it? Hex birthday. It's like what time is it? Game time. It is time to talk about the greatest coin ecosystem. Somebody's got to say it. Somebody has to be here and believe this stuff. And I know I'm not the only one. Somebody has to have this shared fiction of no matter what happens, this thing still works real good. And I'm happy to be a part of that. I really am. 4 years, flawless operation, 100% uptime. So many millionaires minted. I don't know. I don't have a count. It goes up and down on paper. You know, as they say, you know, you're only a millionaire if you sell, that type of thing. In the bear market, I guess, or at least not the top of the next top. Anyways, welcome everyone. Glad you could join me today. Got a special guest. Let's see. Last year I had, was it fun? Yeah, Funding Jim and Dixon Piper on last year. That was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This year I was like, you know what? I like my flavor. You know, do I want 2 scoops or 3 scoops? I want 3 scoops today. You know, does that mean Funding Jim and Dixon Piper were 2 scoops? No, it doesn't. It means they were 3 scoops too. However, I like my scoops with a little bit of spice, a little bit of flash, and a little bit of red pill, and a little bit of just doing a lot of awesome stuff with the community. So without further ado, welcome back to the show for the, I think it's like the fourth, fifth time. Dollar Cost Crypto. How's it going, man?
There is no second best. There is no second best crypto asset. There's HEX and
V2. There is HEX Node 2.0. There is no HEX 2.0. It's right now.
It's right now.
Yes.
Are you all in on that chair, Max? Are you all in on that mic?
All in on that mic.
I'm leaning right now.
I'm leaning close. And then also I got Pikachu in my corner. He's my producer now, and he tends to hurt himself in confusion. Not to be confused with Peter McCormick, but he gets stuff right half the time. So he gets paid nothing, and that's basically what he deserves in production quality.
You know that's what they say. If you put a bunch of monkeys with typewriters, you'll get Shakespeare eventually.
You just subscribe Crypto Twitter, man. You subscribe to Twitter.
What's up, dude?
Dude, good to have you back. It's been a while. I know last time the coordination deal, something happened. My fault though. I was like, oh, I booked it, and then I went ahead and did another stream because I didn't hear back from you or something. And then you were like, hey, I'm ready. I'm like, oh crap, that was like 45 minutes ago. So my bad on that.
I tend to vampirically wake up minutes before the stream starts.
Minutes before the stream? I don't blame you, man. I mean, yeah. Vampires, they lurk. They get stuff done though. You know, they build networks too, don't they?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Somebody said Burberry. Yeah, man, I just want to real quick. I want to say here's Burberry Bear. This is Burberry #1. And you come back. I'm gonna do a show at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week at some point. I may have acquired some more Burberry Bears. I may have acquired a few more. So that's what you're supposed to do when everything's down, right?
Definitely, man. It's crazy. It's been 4 years, dude. 4 years since HEX launched. That's crazy.
That's what we're talking about in the green room, man. You were trying to remember what you were doing, where you were 4 years ago. What did it feel like back then? And did you ever imagine this thing like 4 years from now, the community would be the way it is? You would be doing what you're doing. What has struck you as surprising and like good and bad?
Yeah, I'd say like there was like no percent. At most, I thought like, wow, I'd make a lot of money on it. That's about it. Like, I had no idea we were gonna have a community this big. I had no idea there was gonna be PulseChain. That wasn't even I couldn't even imagine that. Even life wise, like I think I was just like, I was like killing myself to leave work early because like we weren't sure when Richard was gonna announce the time, and then he was like, oh crap, it's like 4 p.m. in my time, and I was just like running home trying to get my Ethereum ready to sack.
I mean, your Litecoin wallet. Your Litecoin wallet.
Well, Ethereum wallet at the time. Vestiges of a different bull market, I would say. Did really good with Litecoin in 2017. Not so much in 2020, but it is what it is.
Yeah, how surprised were you when Charlie Lee got on TV and was like, you know what? What did he say is like, I don't want to, since like he said it in a way that sounded good at the time, but everyone was like, oh, okay. He was like, I don't want to, I forget how he said it. It was like, he said it in a way that sounded really good. I forget how he said it. But
yeah, he's basically saying he's going to step away and stuff. And like, basically he says, I want to decentralize it. Not joking.
It's like, I'm going to stop being a whale. It was like kind of like one of those, oh, you guys take the network and run with it. And I was like, Oh, it sounds, well, the way you said it sounds okay, but I'm not sure it's going to be okay.
He says every time I tweet, if I remember correctly, he's like every time I tweet, things move. I move the price when unintentional. I can't talk about my project anymore because the price will go up and down based on what I say. So I'm gonna sell all my coins, and then I'll be able to talk about Litecoin and everything like that. He kind of did, and the crazy part, he actually said when the top was going to be, and he also, in a way, almost basically said what the bottom was going to be as well. Like I think he said $25. I think the bottom was $22. So like, I'll give Charlie Lee this. Like he was pretty he was pretty honest. Like I don't think he was or anything like that, but like pretty like I would say like borderline retarded behavior. Very, very, very stupid sort of mechanics. To this day, I mean, I told this to Richard, and Richard like it was like, I don't think that's that. I don't really like. He was like, I told him like, it seems to me like he probably got a little knock on the door at the time. This was like with 29. No, I interviewed him in 2020, and at the time, 2019 and 2018, we had just about every major U.S. crypto figure say, I'm out of the game. From Dogecoin founder, from Litecoin founder, from there's some of the Monero guys like all left the country, if I remember correctly. There was like a huge exodus out of the United States, and I really think that the U.S. government knocked on the door because when this happened, the crypto industry wasn't fully in China's grips, and it went full China at that point. We went more I would go Asia China controlled. And what's going on now is we're going from Asia China controlled back to US controlled for the crypto industry. And that's kind of what's going. That's why it's getting attacked. This is why, I mean, it's just geopolitics. What's going on. Like, I mean, it's not like there was this huge, like, all right. So around the time when all the Bitcoin miners got turned off in China and there was a huge exodus out of China, within a couple of days, whoa, what happened? There was a huge leak. A massive amount of intelligence data on aircrafts and everything just magically goes transported to China. Whoa, this is one of the biggest. I can't believe the F-35, plans have been given over to, so more. I mean, this is being real conspiratorial and stuff as a Hexican, but it probably what happened was the U.S. did some little trade deals and stuff in order to get the U.S. mining market or to get the Bitcoin mining market. Because why? I mean, you're in first place. All that. It's a huge market, and why would you give it up? Now, and then since then, you've had tons of companies basically go on the stock market. Nothing too gigantic, but still, it's not lost on me that like BlackRock owns somewhere between 2 to 5% of each of these companies. Every time a company goes public, they start buying into them enough. And I think, and it personally, it was just probably to buy Bitcoin them at really good prices, I'd imagine.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, shout out to all the great minds in crypto. I mean, Charlie Lee and Satoshi, of course, and I mean, even Cardano guy. They're all like, we kind of like when you zoom into our ecosystem. It's kind of like, oh, it's us versus everyone else, and we're the best. We got to tell everyone we're the best, and this is why, and like kind of that kind of funneling and stuff. But if you zoom out, it's like again, if you read the Bitcoin white paper, you get a different sense of crypto. You kind of get out of this like, hey, I just need to get as rich as possible, as quickly as possible type of thing. I think it's really healthy to do because there's a lot of great people out there building stuff. I just have to be most interested in RH stuff. But even outside of that, there's a lot of people with big brains are doing stuff. And I mean, if nothing else, hopefully we can attract them more to here at least.
And you know what? I just remembered something. So like, yeah, the Cardano founder, around the time all this crackdown's happening, he magically goes to Mongolia on this huge excursion to Mongolia for some reason. Vitalik Buterin as well. He travels to Russia. What's called the founder of Polkadot. He goes to China. Literally, I just that does dawn on me right now too. Like all these founders around the same time point between end of 2017, early 2019, all left the country and they basically all went to Russia and China.
You got a little like Bretton Woods conspiracy deal going on there.
No? I mean, there's smoke, there's fire. I'm just saying, like, but it is what it. I mean, of course, like, I mean, probably what Richard was like alluding to is like, yeah, the fucker just wanted to sell his coins at the top. And the thing is, he didn't sell his coins exactly at the top. Like, there's this whole misconception that he did. Like, he actually said, like, "Oh no, I kind of DCA'd out." Basically, he's like, I think he's like, I sold my coins at $100 or $200 or whatever, but still, like, he made the coins for free. So like, like, yeah, he made out like a bandit. That's for sure.
I can hear in Richard's voice, like, that could be one of the new talking points, one of the greatest hits. He's like, did all these other founders, they went to China, they went to Russia, they went to Mongolia. Did Richard go there? No, he was here building stuff to keep you free. Freedom is the best. Freedom of speech, freedom of, like, I could see that being one of the tweets. That'd be funny. Man, what do you think? It's funny, I was talking to Rags yesterday, and really interesting conversation. Anyone that didn't catch it, I recommend that the stream we did yesterday about Hexkins can't stop winning. Can you still call it a cult after PulseChain, 100+ products like launched or in the process of launching? Like, there's so much shared money, there's so much like horizontal scaling going on in the ecosystem. Isn't it a movement at this point, like Hex and PulseChain and like RH's ideals and stuff?
I'd say it's more of a religion. No, sure. Yeah, it's definitely it's a huge movement and stuff. I mean, there's a reason why no matter they want us dead, right? We're like the cockroaches. I mean, they can't get rid of us, basically. You know, we have an L1 that kind of is a thorn in the side of a lot of these corporate VC run L1s. I mean, even some of the ones that are more like grassroots, they got no shot in hell, basically. So we got the most amount of users. I mean, outside of maybe base protocol for when it originally launched, like, they're not counting all the data in terms of volume that we're actually doing in terms of our ecosystem. Our ecosystem still is turning on as well. Like, a lot of Hexagons still don't understand a lot of the other things you can do on the ecosystem front, but still, like, we have the most amount of users. We have a lot of people DCAing. I mean, like, I've been on Solana, I've been on AVAX. They're ghost towns. There is larger whales, and, like, I would say, guys who have been around, veterans who've been around multiple cycles, are accumulating coins in those ecosystems for sure. Because, like, like, okay, but no one wants to buy it now. I'll buy it, make a bid, increase the price, and then when this bull market starts off, we'll dump this shit on normies. Like, that's the plan, right? And you don't really see that. You do see that, I mean, everywhere, of course, but like, you actually do see real community members and real people who care about the ecosystem over here. So that's the big difference. Is, like, most people kind of lost their passion for the most part, outside of a very, very select few. Like, it sort of like destroyed the entire tribe, and there's only 3 guys left who believe. Versus, like, Hex, you still have a quite it was many a village and towns, and now we got a few towns that still believe in comparison.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the most interesting things that's happened too, that it's hard to even realize, because when you're in it so deep, it's kind of turned that, the sacrifices for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, all that stuff. It's almost like RH was trying to turn this into a political party, almost like this, like channeling that inner ability for people to gather and congregate and like fight for what they believe in, channeling that into like putting more of that into the crypto community, instead of just like, hey, we're here to build stuff, we're here to do stuff. It tracks a lot of the natural ability for people to organize and be like, no, I want my team to win. Do you think that was intentional? Do you feel that?
I mean, partly. I mean, like, obviously, Richard wanted to have the most reach he could possibly have. But at the same time, it's not lost on me that, like, he created something that was very different compared to most cryptos. Like, I used to say this all the time on streams. This is back in 21, where I was all over DeFi. I mean, everywhere. I mean, from Phantom, Solana, Ava, I was everywhere that you could be in the last cycle. And the longest lockup that I found was 3 years. So the average lockup, so even VC, when you invest into a coin, you'd wait for the project to launch, and then your coins would drip out to you in a year. So you'd have a 2 to 3 year lockout for VCs. You would go down liquid driver. It's be a 2 year lock. I think Curve may have been 3 years or 4 years locked. So the average lock time for the Hexagons were 7 years. Even now, I think it would have been 6 years back then, but now it's 7, and some eventually maybe 8 possibly. And what's going on is that our lockup is so gigantic compared to it brings people back. Even if they sold all their coins, or like, well, I did stake. Let me see what's going on over here. And they get caught up again in the fervor. And that's the thing, is that we have this really sticky mechanism that keeps bringing people back to the ecosystem, and other ecosystems don't really have that. The only other one that has that right now is probably just Bitcoin, but that's mostly based off of its legacy, its real legacy in terms of like it's been around all the cycles. It is the only coin that's been around all the cycles, you know. So and it's really well known. Outside of that, I mean, Ethereum, it's been around like what, 2 cycles? I mean, 17 cycle, 21 cycle. This one, HEX is now a two cycle coin now. Oh, thank you very much, Kyle. Got a little coffee on deck. There we go.
Nice. Hey, my producer didn't give me any coffee. Jesus. Cool, man. Good for you.
But as you know, as time goes on, this becomes stickier and stickier and stickier, because even the value investor guys, right? Like most people, what ends up happening typically in the cycle is that the newer participants want to stake coins. Good. They as they come in, they want to stake. So they're a constant amount of people trying to stake. Then you have and then the more, I would say, cynical people that are in the HEX ecosystem will say, oh, don't stick your coins in a bull market, this. But then those same people, a good portion of them, and especially in like, I know a lot of these guys were whales as well. Whether what happens or not, they've made some profit and money, and they're buying millions and millions of HEX. Even if you've been DCA and stuff, you've been able to acquire a lot of PHEX and EHEX. I've told this to a lot of people. Right now, you have the most within, I would say, another 6 more months. That'll probably be the peak amount of liquid EHEX or PHEX that you have at that point. And what's going to happen is you're going to be hard pressed before the price pumps, because it's even for people who've been over multiple cycles, it's right now is the easiest time to stake because the price hasn't really skyrocketed. You know, you could stake 1 million HEX for 2026 or 2027 or 2028 or 2029, right?
Trying to get 1,000 T-shares.
Trying to get 1,000 T because it's getting harder and harder. I mean, what was it, like 1 million? Was it 1 million HEX? Doesn't even, like, I forgot how, like, what was it, 1,000 T-shirts? I can't remember what it was anymore. Like a million HEX at 555 doesn't even get you the same amount of T-shirts as it used to anymore, because the share rates tripled from when it initially launched. And
yeah,
you know, you really have 100% uptime for HEX. That's one. Yeah, we really have. We definitely have. It's really worked on both chains and stuff like that. The Ethereum chain especially. I just kind of wish like there wasn't all this infighting that happened on the initial launch, and I think that was probably the only like kind of poisonous thing that probably happened to the HEX ecosystem so far, besides the meme coiners. But like that was to be expected a little bit. But
how dare you?
I'm sorry.
I said, how dare you? In that little German girl's voice.
You should leave.
Looking forward to more climate change live streams in the future. You know, December 2nd, you almost treat it, I don't know, for me, I almost want to buy a cake today. And I'm going out to a local meetup. I feel like it's a second birthday in a lot of ways. Like, how do you think the people who've been around, you know, I've been active in the community for 6 or 7 years, but I've been following Richard for that long.
Yeah.
To me, do you think people who've been around for a while, they really kind of, some things are just sacred, right? Like some things are just, hey, this is this unbelievable situation that happened. You know, a lot of people got into the top and are down right now. A lot of people got at the bottom and are way up. Inevitably, in whatever way possible, hopefully more good than bad, people's lives have been changed by this stuff. Right. And why is it worth celebrating? Like, why is it even worth like having this stream? Like, why is it even worth remembering?
I would say it's just like, it's worth remembering to see what's happened, especially for someone who's been there since the beginning. Like I've been there even strawberry grape chat, strape chat,
strape,
stuff like
the strape.
Yeah, the strape chat, which still exists, by the way. But yeah, been around even like followed Richard in 2017, joined the strawberry grape chat, was probably the only Telegram chat that was still active throughout the bear market that wasn't a scam chat, basically. It's kind of weird. We kind of had like, I would say like crypto, like this is as someone that was around since 2016 in crypto. Telegram was way more active. Like Telegram was way more of a used tool in crypto back in 2017, and it flipped all to Discord in the 21 cycle. It's really weird. I think it probably had more to do with the NFTs and GameFi, probably why it went Discord. But yeah, I think Discord sucks personally.
Pretty sure I've heard Richard say Discord sucks, or he hates Discord a
Yeah,
lot. So
yeah,
you're
it's
not
not.
alone.
It's more than likely where you're going to get hacked or you're going to click a bad link. It's a lot more difficult for it still happens on Telegram, but it's just a lot more. You can curate things a little better, and it's a little more simplistic. And the big problem you have, unless you are a massive influencer, I'm talking about like you are massive out here. I mean, millions. I don't even think Coin Bureau could have shit active, but if you were like, let's just say you were really famous in a like I don't know, super famous artist, Kanye West or whatever, and you made a Discord, every chat would be pretty popping. But what happens is even if I had 100,000 subscribers, right, you would end up having a ton of rooms that are just empty or just like not active and stuff like that. So what ends up happening is that maybe your general chat's okay, but like you end up end up splitting up your community too much, and it ends up kind of like over time it kind of frays out. It's hard to maintain the community using that server and stuff. You know, it just is what it is. Yeah.
Well, speaking of like things spreading out and otherwise, the different, people have talked about the last few months too, the fracturing, or I don't know, that fracturing sounds like a negative term, but the different cities that have popped up and the places people have been going, spending their time, energy, maybe money, resources as well around, now that we have PulseChain, now that there's so many sub communities and otherwise, everyone's not everyone's in the HEX chat anymore. Not everyone's in the PulseChain chat or being active and voice chat. You talk about all that stuff too, where it used to be a year or two ago. Is there a case to be made that this is okay? Like, I guess, what is the 6 months, a year from now, if everyone's kind of like, okay, we still like HEX, we still like PulseChain, but we spend most of our time on other products within the ecosystem. Is that good, bad? How do you feel that's going to, set us up for the future, short-term, long-term, all that?
I would say like that's a really interesting question, actually. I'd probably say that it is. It's just a tough thing to say, but I'm gonna fuck man. I'll just say it. I'd say it's probably weak in the community right now because the prices aren't going bananas. Even the best side projects besides PulseChain projects. Let's just say some of like the other projects, right? I don't want to like single out a project. The price charts haven't been that great either. Like the only things I've done well are basically borderline scam projects, and the pumps are only temporary, and then they come down massively from like whatever fake stable coins to fake stablecoin communities to meme coins. The founders and the guys who launched it are maybe up, but like most people are net down to like zeroed out on those projects. On the legit projects, legit sacrifices, they're doing good work, not knocking it. Like I'm fucking super happy. There's a lot of I own as well, and like they're barely up or they're net down bad, basically. So what's happening is because we've lost like the central figurehead. I mean, until he comes back and stuff. I don't know. He said 52 weeks, so maybe he's back in May of next year, right? If you ask me what's the worst case for the ecosystem to pump like crazy, probably until next May in the summer, and then that's around the time this summer is going to be. We're going to have a nice summer this next year. Really nice summer. We got a lot of Bitcoin shit going down. Macro wise, a lot of money's floating around that time. We got Bitcoin halving. We have the Bitcoin ETF. That's going to happen January 10th. That's the big news. Like it's going to transfer into an ETF by January 10th. Huge news. Huge news. Huge. And that brings more money. And that regardless or not, people who hold a lot of HEX also hold Ethereum and some Bitcoin and some altcoins. And if those things go up a lot, people have more money to play with. And they're like, well, I'm up so much on this. HEX hasn't pumped yet. Let me transfer some money over here. Let me make some investments. And that's how it happens. We have trickle down economics in crypto, whether people want to believe that or not. That's exactly what it is. Like if HEX, as an example, right? You shouldn't do this, but HEX can do this. Like let's say HEX launched up and did a 40x right now. Fuck yeah, right? We're super happy. Maintains the prices. Probably some people take profits and probably buy Ethereum and Bitcoin. at some point. And then then finally HEX goes down, Bitcoin starts ramping up, and they're like, well, that's all free money here. Let me buy a bit more HEX. And that's kind of how it works. There's kind of a whether one of it used to be people would just sell into Bitcoin only, and then it went to like Bitcoin and stables, and now it's kind of like altcoins and stables or altcoins and mains basically. So there's kind of this whole jumping around basically that happens, but the money, the capital does slosh around, and when it comes back into your ecosystem, creates this huge upsurge basically because there's kind of like a dislocation in price where like market caps are so low relative to other X's and made in other ecosystems that the money flows in there. It's like a fat kid jumping on the side of a seesaw with the skinny kid at the end, shoots the price and you just do multiples basically. So there really is a real worldwide like wealth effect that's happening in crypto, and Ethereum is one of the main causes of it as well with liquidity pools. When it does, if it 4x's in price, I mean the average coin should be up 3x in price. Even if it's a laggard, it'd be up 3x. And if it's one that's really got a lot of fanfare, then it'll do like a 2x on Ethereum. So it'd be up like 8x versus, or 8x in dollars, or 2x versus Ethereum, and everyone's happy, right? So there really is this trickle down effect. But HEX is kind of gone from this, and I'm still super bullish, and like no matter, even if, let's just say, even if we did not pump until May, I'd still be here, I'd still stream, I'd still be accumulating. Right, we'd still be doing events and stuff like that's not gonna stop. Matty Allen wouldn't stop streaming. He'd still be doing events.
Speaking of Matty, yeah, he's shout out to Matty for these conferences are just, we can't give enough, be grateful enough for these events that are put together. Hillman, everyone else, but the one coming up in January, I'm very excited for too. Are you guys super bullish on HEX? Any price predictions for the 5th HEX birthday? So December 2024. I'm gonna again dodge any predictions, but yeah, go for it.
Combined price, separates. What are we talking about?
What are you talking about, man? There's only one HEX, right? There's only one HEX.
There's no second best.
Interesting. I think, yeah. Let's go with. I don't. Do you think like they'll be okay? Let's first preface it with this. You think that their EHEX, BHEX, there'll always be a slight discount premium? Is that where your head's at on that?
Yes and no. There'll probably this bull market, there might even be a time where like we get even pricing, or like EHEX outpumps PHEX for a little bit, but then it'll come back down. It'll be back at it'll probably stay at a PHEX is more valuable than EHEX historically, but there'll be times when it inverts slightly or gets very close to itself like that.
Okay. I just asked that to make it easier to answer of like, okay, if we picked one HEX price, like, or one HEX, I guess that price, and then you could say, oh, okay, just double it for both HEX if you think they're going to be around the same.
Right. Well, they won't be around the same. Like there'll be PHEX will be worth more than EHEX, but just because what later in the cycle there's going to be more gas fees, it's just going to be tougher. But there's a lot. The one thing that we've done badly in marketing and stuff, and it's just tough because we need exchanges, is the normal person will always just buys Ethereum on HEX, and it's actually harder for them to buy it now too, because it's like they can't even go to Uniswap to buy it, so they don't even know where to buy it. So we have to work
ETHEX.com, man. ETHEX.com, and then you click the IPFS links, and then it's just one more click, and then it's what are you talking about? This is easy.
Yeah, well, it's normies. They don't know any better. I mean, they just like when they have a mobile, because I've seen it. It's like all the newest mobile wallets, like Coinbase, or I think Exodus has it as well, and then Trust Wallet, and MetaMask on iPhone sucks. Let's just not even use it. But those have like you have 1-inch matcha, and it has what's called Uniswap, and it's hard to buy it on there. You can't buy it on there, and this is normie town. So like normies only, like, trust me, as a person who's taught like 14,000 people, they only like, well, once they figure out one little thing, they're like, okay, I'm gonna stay here. I know how to do this. So yeah, so they mastered how to do like this, the one, like the simple, like that's how I know it. And like, if I do just do these short little movements back and forth with this coin or that coin like this, I'm not gonna lose my money, because it's just lack of education and stuff. So it's like, this is like our job as educators and as YouTubers, is like we got to show people this stuff, and because I mean we're all there too. Like especially in the beginning, like I could have been in the whole meme coin season for like I could have made much more money if I had like really had known more about crypto, but I was afraid to leave Coinbase through most of like 2017. Like I didn't start playing around with like Binance until October 2017. You know, and it's just because it's like eventually greed gets you, and this is how like you either learn through like greed or pain. Basically, is it's usually normally pain for adults. That's kind of crazy. Your brain's very elastic for a long time, and then what ends up happening is during as you get older and older, your brain becomes less elastic, and that means like willing to learn. Like you can't teach a dog new tricks. You definitely can. They've found that like adults learn the only way to make their brains elastic for them willing to change behaviors is through pain. Divorce. Divorce is a big one. That's a huge, like the red pill is almost built on fucking divorce. Or like he's like, no, like wait, was it like I love my baby mama. I never let her go. Right? It's that's that whole it's that whole DMX thing and stuff. You know, it's like, oh no, my wife. This is my wife. My wife will never betray me, and my wife's the best. And then she cheats on you or she divorces you. It's like I want half. Eddie Murphy, I want half. Half. A year or two ago, I found you in Savannah on the African plains. What are you talking about? Half, like, but then that's how guys go learning. They're like, oh my god, I'm wrong, and I need to go learn. Like men and women too. This is but that's what happens when you get older. When you're younger, when you're like 26 and younger, you are still able to like adapt and learn new things because you're trying to be hip and trendy. And then as you grow older, you become more set in your ways, and only like great pain does something like force you to like, oh fuck, I gotta like change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean there are no mistakes. There's just learning opportunities. That's sort of a lot of people have that mindset too. So it's if there are pain, you learn, adapt, or double down your greed next time. No, don't do that. Just to wrap up on the question though, I would be not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I would be very shocked and surprised if HEX remained the same price as it is today this time next year. I'll be shocked. I'll be very shocked. DCC says it won't. I don't think he's a crazy person. So be very excited to see that. Go ahead.
I think worst case, I think we'll probably be at like 3 to 4 cents next year. That'd be like the worst case scenario for like, this is for EHEX, by the way. We'll probably be much higher. We'll probably be in the 10 to 12 cent range. Probably for
that's like EHEX. A 10x from all-time lows. I mean, it's funny, like you say that, and it's so underwhelming. But then it's like if you bought it at the lows when everyone was screaming about how it's so cheap, that's pretty much a 10x.
Because we're gonna have a good year next year. Next year is gonna be a crazy year, man. Like, dude, I've been meeting so many crazy people in the space and stuff, and through like through Miami and stuff. I've met like the world's most biggest astrologer. I mean, with numerologists and stuff like that. And like next year's a dragon year. It's a huge year for money. It's a golden dragon. Jerome Powell's also a dragon. It's just crazy. Like bunch of weird stuff's gonna happen with the money system. I mean, in Crypto Coffee's hometown, like they were piloting the first the U.S. crypto dollar for the first time in Chicago. They're going to start pushing it out. I'd say summer of next year, really pushing it out. And it's going to get low adoption at first, but then they're going to push it out. Like the whole world. You remember that WorldCoin thing that's came out? Yeah. Like it was like where they were like tricking people to like scan your retinas for a hot dog and $2. A lot of that data is going to be used to do the digital dollar, and it's just a lot of that right there. And the reason they're doing that, and eventually they're going to get everybody. Like it's really sad to say, like they have everyone's fingerprints, right? The reason that they're doing they're scanning eyes, which is pretty dystopian, by the way, but the reason they're doing it is because people, like if you go riding outside, and so last night, like, not to go off a tangent here, but we're going off a tangent for a second. It's like last night I met up with some people. That work in the cybersecurity industry, and they were telling me that every single inch of London is on video. Like, so if you go outside, every single street, nook and cranny in all of London is being recorded. All of it. So you can't go anywhere in London. Like, you are being recorded the entire time you're in that city. Like, without fail, right? And so the reason they're doing this is because people put on masks or they put on things. So what'll happen is if they're videotaping you, all they have to do is catch a glimpse of your eye and they got your ass. So people will put on things to like they'll you can put prosthetics on and put a mask on to cover your face, and they'll be able to tell that's you basically, as long as they can glean something off an eye or a reflection, because the cameras are getting so good that they can catch a reflection off of a mirror on a car that can actually reflect light into your eyes, and the cameras could sometimes pick up the scan of your retinas, and then they can identify you.
Wow. And the first thing
So
that comes to mind after that tragedy of surveillance is bullish on the black market for contacts that somehow defeat that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Renegon eyes, straight on Renegon eyes and stuff. You're gonna have Mangekyo.
Well, you know, if people are trading their eyeballs for 2 hot dogs, so there's a price for everything, I guess. That's crazy,
Clear,
man. I don't like
people
that.
haven't thought about it. Clear, you know, Clear in pre-assay board check, they got people's asses on that too. All that data is going there too. Like, and that's why like they're doing intentionally. They're making even airports more annoying. So they're like, fuck it, I'll just pay an extra $100 a year to like speed up this fucking process, and got you. They got you on that too. Like, it's
been avoiding those too. I see them, and it's always one of those. It's like dangling the tree, right? Oh, dangling the tree. Here's a carrot. Here's a carrot. Come get it. Give us all your stuff. I'm like, nope, no, thank you. Oh, okay. Dustin Olson. In 10 years from now, when it's 200K HEX to get a T-share, how do new users get onboarded? Would be a massive price appreciation do it? What do you think?
Let's see. In 10 years from now, we'll not be talking about T-shares. We'll be talking about B shares. I think we talked about this a long time ago too. It's like it's going to be more about B shares. It's just going to be on what you can afford, because if the HEX price continues to go up, then it makes B shares more economically feasible. And on top of that, if you're talking about on PulseChain, if the gas fees are still really cheap, then you can stake smaller amounts. It's all relative. It's either it's this fight between gas fees and price per token. That's the fight. And the yield you're earning off the T shares or the B shares or the M shares, right? Is that, oh my God, can you imagine when we're talking about M shares in 25 years?
Lowercase T shares, 1,000 shares.
1,000. Oh my, don't even say that. Oh my God. there was a time when we were talking about trillions of shares in my day.
You'll be tweeting that from your golden toilet. You'll be tweeting that from your golden toilet at the point.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah. They they have all kinds of crazy technology and stuff like that. Like you know, LiDAR and stuff like that. They have ways to scan things. Like, it's just getting, the future's scary, man. The future is, it's getting scary and stuff. The only thing we have on our side is that people are lazy, and human nature is like, even if they're doing everything, they're not going to be able to keep on top of everything no matter what. So if enough people are doing stuff, they just can't crack down on everything. So like, there's safety, and it's kind of, it makes me feel sort of like we're fucking Zebra, where like we all have stripes, and it's like we're playing this kind of game of like numbers that, like, you know, the lion's going to kill 1 zebra out of 100 zebra, so like we got a 1% chance of getting killed. That's horrible. Is the thing, but yeah.
Wow. Well,
anyway,
that's what I was talking to Rags last night too, about like, how do we survive? Like, the crypto communities that survive, are they the ones that dodge whatever the bug eaters, whatever they be, like whatever the government, however you frame it, the ones that survive, are those the ones that dodge the things that they care about? Like, okay, we care about all these other things. You true DeFi, you real DeFi guys, like whatever, we don't care. You're not affecting our bucket of $1 million right now. Like, we just stay out of the way. Like, is there a way to do that and still have everything we want?
I mean, let's be for real here. Like, yeah, I mean, we're basically creating these kind of, I would just say these libertarian movements and stuff, because it's like, everyone's living in their own world and stuff like mid-curve or crypto. That's funny. Mid-curve. That's funny. But you know, we're creating these whole like communities of just like-minded people on certain subjects. Now we can be really different in lifestyle, but like we do have some sort of same sort of philosophy or lifestyle philosophy a little bit. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, like, what is it? Like, this is like a really funny report that like what 18 or 20% of males eat like 80% of the meat in the United States or some shit. So it was like crazy. It was like a small amount of like a small percentage of the US male population consumes like 60% of the meat, red meat in the United States.
Huh.
You know, and it's, I'm proud to be one of those card carrying members. I'm very proud.
Meat is good. I like protein. It's
Yeah.
pro protein.
DCC, my kids are listening. Don't make me put on the headphones. Oh my god, I haven't cussed. I haven't said anything bad.
Oh, not at all.
I've kept it very tame. I'm gonna try to be more tame on even my streams because like the bull market's about to start up and stuff. So I gotta make sure to like, I'm trying to like reach new people. Like I'm real, like statistics wise, I think every stream I do, like I'm getting 88% like new watchers, which are really cool through statistics, which is probably more through like clips and shorts. Really, if I go in live streams, I'm probably like 70% like current users, 30% new, but those clips and shorts are really important to get new users, you know?
Yeah. No. Oh, actually, looks like somebody else wants to join. All right, everyone. Somebody else wants to say happy birthday to Hex. Welcome to the show, Jack Levin. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, I was about to say, oh shit.
He's waiting. Oh, he's coming on. He's coming on. That's the inside joke I had with DCC over the last time. Always, ever since the 11 rant, which was legendary. That was always pretend like he's going to come back on. He's going to join. He never came on the first time, but that'd be funny if I see in the StreamYard window it says it's Jack Levin.
I mean, he's too busy. He vampire attacked a bunch of communities, and then like he's about to launch his X1 thing pretty soon and stuff. That's the whole thing with him and shit. Yeah.
If you were to say he was here and you were going to have a good conversation with him, is there something? Take the other side. Still man the case for everything that's happened in the past year with Zen, Jack, everything else. It's got to be something good came from it, right? If you were to try to make that case.
Me being serious or me kind of like taking the piss out of him?
Either way. I mean, it's I try not to add hominem on the show, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I'm not into Zen, I'm not into Jack, and nothing like that. I'm not saying this for any particular reason other than I wonder if we were to take the other side of it, is there something
well,
there?
I'd say for a regular user, Zen's probably pretty bad because most uneducated people in crypto, which is most people, they would have just bought the coin off of, you know, whatever swap and just lost their fucking ass. If you were a miner of it, I think you won. If you were like a day one miner or you were one of the early miners who like mined Zen, you probably did okay. But that already takes a certain level of DeFi use that it makes that a very small amount of people. And then on top of that, you had people who were making mining farms for Zen and stuff that were more Chinese based and stuff like that. Like there was an industrial side to these guys who were able to just keep minting Zen and stuff like that. And you weren't, and it became a second job where like if you weren't there every day trying to create more and more stakes every day and making more wallets, like how are you going to keep up with that? You know, and that's the whole thing, is it became like a very, very, very small amount of people who could do this extra work versus like someone just buying investment and believing the thesis, right? There's a lot of labor. There was a lot of labor to it, basically, which is the problem. So only the most insider people, I guess you could say almost the same too. It's like only the inside, only the guy, but because of the extra amount of work, people who have a lot of money are gonna be like, man, fuck all this extra shit, man. I'm just gonna invest in something else that's a lot less labor intensive with my capital than do like this. A bot. Yeah, like and that's what happened. Now there's some people who said, fuck it, I can be King Kong in this ecosystem, so I'm gonna do it, but that's far and few between. So you had much more of a concentration of supply. And the thing is like how can you prove that? Because you don't know which wallet's whose. Well, you know, it's not hard to kind of figure out. Not that who owns a wallet, but it's just that it's very concentrated, I would imagine, right? And obviously if these guys really like, there sure is a lot of people selling it too, you know. And so there's going to be like supposedly there's going to be a concentration. They're going to sell a bunch of it. There might even like do a reverse stock split to like 100 less the supply or 1,000x the supply or so, but we'll have to see. I mean, it just depends. Like, I mean, I invest. Like, if there's money to be made, I mean, I'm a profit maxi. Like, I'll throw some shekels. I'll throw some shekels at X1 if I can make some cash on it and buy some more hex with it. You know, but but I have to see because like so far track record is dog shit with this. It really is bad. Like, I mean, and if he wasn't, I mean, if he was a little bit less combative, I think, and a little more kinder and stuff, I think it would have gone a long way with this project. Personally, I mean, like he's like Bitcoiners hate him, like Hexicans don't like him. I mean, basically every ecosystem he goes on to, he just spams their fucking network, and they're like, God damn it, what the fuck? We've got the clap. You know, I mean, literally,
GP, sir. I was promised GP.
I've literally been on other ecosystems, and they literally says like this fucking token's like VD. Literally, they don't even know like any Hex affiliation. There's like this fucking Zen bullshit is like fucking catching chlamydia. I saw that, like people talking about that in ordinals, or people talking about that in other ecosystems. They're like, when I think he launched on Base. I can't remember if he did. It may have been Base, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, I don't think he's a bad guy. It's just I think he could have gotten things a little bit better and stuff like that. And then this whole thing too of like, I'm in it for the tech is just such horse shit. You need tech and usability, and like you need price go up. Like if we were just strictly like, if we were just all in the computer business, then yeah, tech. Let's do the tech side. Yeah, of course. But we're also a financial asset. At the end of the day, like price charts matter. Make price charts great again, you guys.
HEX.com. Make price charts great again. Starting with HEX. Starting with PulseChain.
And notice that whole thing, I didn't cuss. There was no cussing throughout that entire thing. You saw that? I'm practicing this brand new thing. I
mean, you can curse if you want, but if you don't feel the need, that's fine too.
That's fine.
Either way, we like freedom on this channel. We like freedom. Freedom's a good thing. Freedom for price to go up. How do we make that happen, man? How does 2024? You know, sounds like you think it's going to be a good year for HEX, the whole ecosystem. Hopefully, what do we need to see happening? Like, what in the next 6 months till we get to summer? You know, 7 months or so. What do we need to see happen to make this thing like everyone to stop fighting? It's cool. You still like HEX. It's still good. It went back up. Your DCA is now 2 cents if you bought it 40 cents because you bought it at the all-time low. What is the good? Things are great. How do we get there?
It's obviously more onboarding. I mean, the best thing would be if Richard came back on YouTube. That would solve like 80% of the problems, 90% of the problem. I mean, really would. It just is what it is. Like, we need a marketer, and the biggest marketer that people know is the founder, obviously, right? So if the lawsuit goes away, Richard Hart comes back. I'm back, bitches. Holy shit, you guys. Woo! Green candle, candelabras. That'll fix 99% of the problems, damn near. Because it's all perceived leadership. We're like, oh shit, like Richard's back. Someone's at the helm again. Oh, this thing's about to take off. Holy, and then because but even if Richard did nothing, let's just say he came back but didn't do, actually in the background didn't do anything, the ecosystem would still pump hard because like, oh, there's people like to know that Jesus grabbed the wheel. Someone's holding onto the wheel, and someone's talking. Like, that's what it is, you know. And it's like you know, it is what it is with that. The other and you know, a coin needs marketing, right? This is our one bonus that we do have. No matter what's happened, we still have YouTubers. I mean, we have you, me, and everyone else and stuff like that. We have a huge ecosystem of people streaming now. I think you asked me earlier what's probably one of the net negatives of like all these coins that are coming out is that there's a new coin every day, and it isn't like back in the day when like you had it just Hedron, right? You could just be like shout out to Crypto Sloth, right? You could be a YouTube channel about that, right? But what happens is as time goes on, it becomes harder to become like a solo guy because there's a new project launching every day. So like there's like new lanes opening every day, but because you're opening all these streets, if the user base isn't growing, then what happens is that, you know, these YouTubers aren't getting much traction, and so they have to be like they have to be talking about multi-lane. They have to be like almost like a multi-talented artist, very multi-talented artist, in order to string together and cobble together a channel in order to actually get views to do it. Unless you're just like you're leverage longing crazy. Like, here's a channel that works if you could do it. Leverage longing on famous and fucking actually making money, and people are like, holy fuck, this guy's crazy. Oh, you know, it's basically your casino channel. You know, you're like, hey man, this is DCC slots here. I'm gonna leverage long PulseChain today. I think because the news today, it's gonna pump. Holy fucking pumped! I made all this money. Huh? You see, you're poor because you don't listen to me. And And you know, and then like, wow, he's winning. You know, it's just like even, but that's actually like that's even true on Twitter. And you're a trader that shows like you know, ROIs or whatever. Like you're like, I made this money and stuff like that. But the reason that a lot of people don't do it is because there's tax reasons, and there's also people snooping on wallet. There's just a lot of like lack of privacy, and then on top of that, you make yourself a bit of a target as well. When like, you know, people know what wallet. There is this whole thing. It's like this is why people buy, another reason why people buy stuff in the real world versus just like showing off their like, here's my Bank of America account like balances.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Sloth he's a PH guy now, so you never know when we get you're gonna get him one of those red buttons, those Jim Cramer buy buttons, and let him
trading's hard. Trading's hard. You can win with a longer like I would say a long-term ratio trade, or like ratio trading is a lot easier than I would say like dollar trading. You can do it, but there is these like longer trades where like you bought this coin here and then like 9 months later you sell it. Yeah, you made money. Fuck yeah, those work. Historically, you can make money like that. It's the shorter term day-to-day stuff, and then on top of that, because you're a content machine, you also have to like, well, fuck, I have to stream 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I have to now show me making money 4 times a week, and sometimes there isn't a setup, so then you force setups. I've seen good traders do this all the time. Like I know guys that really do make money in the industry, like they make millions of dollars, and I've seen them do this where like they're forcing. Sometimes there is no like move, and they're forcing it using leverage, or they're forcing it, and then they just get destroyed. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, just speaking of Hedron 2, when V2 comes out, that's gonna be exciting. Bring a lot more people. It's hard to get anyone to talk about it right now. It really is. You know, I got Crypto Kong. He comes on every once in a while and talks about it, but and you know, Sloth, you know, been in the PH ecosystem, which I think, hopefully will bring more money in than, you know, of course people are gonna get wrecked, all that stuff. It's just the nature of the products that when they get used incorrectly or otherwise, and you're gambling in certain ways. But hey, advanced users need these tools, so hopefully it grows the ecosystem. I think they're both. I mean, there's so many projects that I think they're either positive feedback loops. I've talked about this before, like which ones I'm interested in. I'm interested in either things that help the blue chips in some way, more features, or they're directly help people buy them or onboard them or whatever, or grow the ecosystem. They take capital that would otherwise be in other places, and they make it make sense to come to PulseChain, lock it up. You know, we all have fun. Is that the part? So we were talking about, like, you know, what gets us to greatness next year or the year after, and or however, growing the ecosystem, onboarding. Is it just green? Do we just need green candles? Like what is the key?
Green. I mean, I think Richard even said this. Like the best marketing is a green candle. It's a great price chart. I mean, it is what I mean. It's a chart setup. It's a chart setup for the charters, but it's like I mean, it's watch this. Like as an example, right? If I try, like, it's true. Like you should buy when it's not sexy, right? We know this. Like buy red, sell green, right? Buy low, sell high. Wow, Miguel, you're blowing my mind here. This alpha, this is insane. So you're telling me I should buy when things are fucking cheap and sell when things are high? That's right. Right? But easier said than done, right? Because people want to buy it for sure thing. They don't want to just like, there's so much action going on around. There's everything, especially once the bull market really starts up and everything's pumping. And what happens is it isn't like everything just, there's an initial, like everything rises and then there's a dislocation. So it happens every like 3 months, where in 3 months is a long time. You have to understand, like a year in crypto is a decade in the stock market, right? Or 12 years in the stock market, right? Every month is a year. So when your project doesn't pump for a month and everything else is pumping, your project has been standing still for a year. This is how the millennial Xers think. Like how this is how we think. Like these Xers, I'm saying Zoomers. I'm sorry. This is how the Zoomers and the millennials think. Is just like, and it's even the Xers and the Boomers too. It's because of how fast our industry is. Our industry moves like 1,000 miles an hour. So when like it's not what have you done for me, it's what have you done for me lately. It's in comparison, right? So there's tons of coins like I held, right, that I fell pray to this as well, right? Is you have to be capital efficient, because sometimes like you only have limited. It isn't like you have unlimited dollars to keep putting in the market. Eventually, like, this is all you have, and sometimes you have to sell a position off or portions of positions in order to buy something else that could actually move fast, right? It is what it is. And most of those things were pretty good ideas, but there's coins we were holding, right? We did the research on them, and they legitimately did like 100, 200, 300x. If we just held it, if I just had held it and didn't do anything and waited until the peak of the market, but until the peak of the market, they didn't do shit. They did like a 10x, 4x, and it's like, and everything else was doing more 30x's. So you're like, man, this is stupid. Why? Like, I'm so happy I sold that stuff. And then when you look back, you're like, oh damn, if I had actually held it the last 2 months of the bull market, this thing returned more than all the other coins, except, I'm not talking about HEX, but like, as an example, like that, like a lot of stuff in GameFi, like Decentraland, this was fractions of a penny. It went to like $3-4, massive amounts of returns, right? So, it's the price chart, but I mean, the best thing you could probably do is like, if everyone here onboarded one person a month, just one person extra a month, like whatever you're doing right now, if you're already a YouTubing, cool, keep doing that. And if you're able to like onboard an extra person, that's literally it. Like how big the community is, right? If we were able to add an additional 5,000 people a month extra, I mean, that's massive. It'll change. I mean, dude, it'll change everything. It really would. We're talking about 60,000 people, real users a month. I mean, a year. That's fucking huge. 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 But this it's going to be real life onboard. You have to, and the thing is, most people are going to onboard family members, or they're going to onboard this. And then the thing is like, the pitch is going to be like this, because it's tough. And this is for any crypto. This isn't just Bitcoin, Ethereum, HEX. It's everything. And this is just average. This is really good information here, is that you're going as an onboarder, right? As an example, right? Let's just say HEX is bottomed out, right? And right now we're up maybe, what do we have, like a 2x, 3x from the all-time low with HEX, because it's 22% of penny. So it's like, so when I go to somebody, right, it's like, yeah, dude, the crypto bottom's in. Really? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I've been investing in this coin right here. I'm up 3 times on my money for the year. Dude, that's fucking great. You see, that's a little easier. Now watch this. Awesome. But like, but if you're brand, if I just came into HEX and I did buy the bottom, that's all I had, I'd be way more happier. But I also have had coins I bought at higher prices and lower prices and staked. So it's a little bit of like, it's calmed. People sense that energy off of you, right? And
interesting.
Like,
a great reason to buy the bottom is you could, if you had bought the bottom, or say the cheapest prices a month or two ago, then when you're onboarding people, you could honestly tell them, hey, I bought it then, and now it's worth 2 or 3 times as much. You don't have to lie or anything about it.
Now, was it Cable C or whatever? I'll answer that question, right? Because actually, it's a pretty important question. I'll answer that, but in a minute. But as time goes on, right? Like it's just net onboarding. That's the best grassroots. You have people who are passionate, right? But the problem is like, if HEX like 10x from here, I'd be like, bro, I've made so much fucking money, dude. I've made more money than Ethereum on that, dude. I'm fucking killing it right now. And so people sense that energy off you, and they're like, oh fuck, this train looks like it's leaving that's sad that it's the truth, but that is the truth, is that people feel that excitement off you, is like, because like you're so excited about it because it's life-changing money, and it's like you're excited about it. People sense genuine excitement from you. They're like, oh shit, the train's leaving the port. It's like, get in now, right? This is why the most people got onboarded at the top of the market, because everyone's making tons of money, everyone's in profit, everyone's super excited. Like we were a very small community back in the day. The reason we got to the size we did is because we were doing these practices, and as well as like, we only had one coin, you could buy it all on Uniswap. It was much easier to sell. Right now, it is a little more difficult, like, because you have to because it takes a little bit of a higher end user to kind of get in, because they have to like you have to handhold more than you used to have to. Use like, hey, just use Uniswap, buy it there, done. They don't have to know anything. And then eventually they're like, what's this coin do? And then their own research, they slowly get in. Now you have to handhold more, right? Because they could buy EHEX, cool. Buy on CowSwap, buy it on ETHEX, cool. Boom. You buy it on those front ends, you got it, nice. And then from there, I was like, okay, how to use the bridge? Oh my God, an extra 2 buttons. shit, I don't know. This is hard, but like, but still,
What is
bridging
RTFS?
is
What is all this stuff?
bridging. People don't understand bridging. People don't understand. It's very difficult for a lot of people. We joke about it, but it's like trust me, as a person who really knows about educating and teaching people, it's not easy at all. It really isn't. And people fall for these tropes all the time. It's like they don't know what's you can't trust bridges. Bridges suck. They really do. They get hacked. They're probably the most dangerous components of L1s ever, because if that bridge gets hacked, it could spell death for L1s. Right. This is why it's so important. I love what Coast is doing right now. I love with like, well, we have the original bridge we have now. I love that we're getting all these other ways to kind of onboard. Like right now, like one ecosystem I'm very invested in is the Phantom ecosystem. I've done very well in there. Their bridge didn't get hacked. It got confiscated by the Chinese government. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're getting the money back, 80% of it. You know,
and yuan.
China. Right. But now like it's really hard because now you like the main bridge where all the liquidity was at, where people were able to move all the stuff around, it's not there anymore. And there's like janky little like fucking like on their last leg bridges, and you can't really move stuff around. And China, right? There's all these other bridges, and people are starting to make bridges or trying to open banks. But now the only way you have to workarounds. So like if I wanted to get into the ecosystem and have like not Ethereum Phantom, but Phantom on Phantom. And this sounds like, why is Miguel talking about another ecosystem? It's because this is an attack vector on the HEX ecosystem as well. I want to show you that you can still buy Phantom on a big exchange, and that's a work. So how do I get capital? Well, fuck, I have to buy on an exchange. Then I have real Phantom. Now I can buy stuff in the ecosystem with. It's like I can buy Pulse on Coinbase. Then I can buy my tokens on the network, and then if I want to sell, I have to actually go to Coinbase to sell my coins, because they're like they'll take my coins from me in value, instead of like I can't use a bridge to sell to Ethereum to get back. So there's like that's the bridges allow you to stay in DeFi. Without bridges, you have to go to CeFi to take profits, or yes. OTC. And then that's the difficulty right there and stuff like that. So this is why, like, I do believe we're going to get, we should get an exchange. We'll get exchange listed for PulseChain. I really believe so. I really do believe so. This cycle we'll have, at the very least, I think we'd have 4 to 5 exchanges list PulseChain this cycle. It'll be probably later in 25, I'd imagine, but we will get them, because as things go crazier, these exchanges are getting more competitive, and people understand the L1 narrative. They put every bullshit L1 on every bullshit ass exchange. So what's the difference between ours? It's not. They're going to, like, they'll put anything up there. L1s is easier to understand. It's an L1 token. Got it. The greed, even the exchange greed, is like, fuck, we put this exchange on here. We can get this thing for super cheap. We can make tons of money. Do you think that exchanges aren't trading or aren't selling coins in the background as well? Like, there definitely are, you know? Because during those bear markets, they're not that profitable and stuff. I mean, like, now exchanges are making money, but like volume goes down, and then they have huge, like, you expand, like, just like a company, you're making tons of money, so you have to hire more people, and you're making all this cash. And then what happens is volume goes down crazily, and then you have to start firing people like crazy, and you're like, oh fuck, and then you're trying to hold on as much as you can. And this is why, like, exchanges start doing shady shit or get desperate, because they don't want to fire their people. You know, they fired. Imagine you hired just like 5 really good people. You actually like these people. They're like, dude, this is, if I keep this team, like, we're going to take over the world. But fuck, I have to fire them now. Crap. And I actually have to fire more people than that. Like, I have to actually contract. That's what happens. That's what happens in business. That's the business cycle. So this is why, like, this CZ was so smart. He saved all that. I mean, to think, I mean, they're fucking charging him $4 billion. He has the $4 billion to pay too. That's a crazy part. Like, his supposed company's worth $16 billion, and he has $4 billion in cash to pay the ransom. You know, he's basically paying $4 billion, and that $4 billion is just going to the coffers of, like, U.S. senators, and it's going to go into fucking, like, small hat lawyers' pockets. Let's just be for real here. You know, so amen.
Maybe they buy HEX with it.
Hey, definitely do. I mean, there's whale. I mean, people know about HEX. Whale. Once you, if you're a DeFi whale, you are pretty intelligent. Could be socially stupid, but like you're in the crypto space, very intelligent. They know about HEX. They know about PulseChain. Everyone heard about PulseChain when we went out there with Gary and all the other guys out there to Bitcoin Miami. Maddie was there too. I didn't have one person talk to me about, not one person at the Bitcoin conference talked to me about buying Bitcoin. Not one person. all the after parties. But we were but we came in there, we were like mini celebrities because we were the PulseChain guys, because PulseChain was launching. So we were like, everyone wanted to talk to us, from BitBoy to everybody else. Everyone wanted to talk to us. So BitBoy was actually a pretty cool guy. Like, I'm not gonna shit on BitBoy. BitBoy's a cool dude. He was literally the only guy that acted like a normal person there. Everybody else, smaller channels than BitBoy, were acting like fucking prima donnas. Like they had to stick up their butt.
Yeah, I ran into him there too. I was in the hall, and then or the conference hall in the back, and he came in. I looked over and I saw him, and then I think he had glasses. I don't think he wanted anyone to see him right there. He had glasses on. Like, oh, it's obviously BitBoy. And I'm pretty sure there was like security, had like people with him and stuff like that. And then I just had said hi, what's going on? I think I said something like thanks for your support for PulseChain or Richard or something like that, and had a quick conversation. But it was like there was a little entourage, but he was cool though. He actually talked to you, and I don't think he wanted to be seen at that point for some reason. But he was walking around. Anyways, Amicable, could the sacked die be used to buy PLS? You said you wanted to talk to this one.
It should be. I mean, some of it should. Like, the thing is, you need to have, like, if it's because you have to sort of run it like a business, right? But it's like, it's forbidden to say that, but that's the truth. Like, you do a sacrifice, right? Or whatever you want to call it, or you do this or this, or people decide to donate of their own free will into a pool. Cool. Hey, nice. But I know we can't say any of this stuff is like, no expectations of work of others and all this other stuff, but like most of these sacks from all, I mean, like, but here's the problem is like, all right, more than likely people who did these coins that did sacrifices that didn't rug, the coins will probably perform better than coins that just launch on their own without any money, unless that the founder has a lot of capital on the side. Because no matter what, you need money. You do need money. Money fixes a lot of problems, right? And most corporations, even in the stock market, they do stock buybacks. That's a real thing. And what is a crypto? A crypto is a sports team mixed up with a religion with a financial asset. That's what a crypto is. Most people in crypto, no one will say that, but that's exactly what it is. It's a sports team mixed up with the religion with a financial product. A ticker. That's what it is. And with a little bit, with a splash of social network. That's what it is. And some of that capital, once it's in there, right? You can't use all the capital to do buybacks, and then it goes to zero, and then you have no more capital. You project die, or like the what other things have? There's human nature of it. If like there's no more money and stuff, and it's starting to call. I saw this with what's that project? Digibyte. The Digibyte founder basically launched it for free. Did all this, like, good dude, really good dude. He tried really hard. He was working out of a garage in Detroit or Michigan, like janky garage. Tried his best. Good guy, like literally good people, good salty earth people. Like everyone was trying to do it, and he just didn't have the capital to really push his token out. He would have succeeded if he did. If he had a couple more millions of dollars in the bankroll and could have put marketing out, could have put this out, he could have done really well. But when you have a really big bankroll, you can do stock buybacks. You can do buybacks. It's the whole thing is like you can, but that just can't be talked about. But it is what it is. But to tell you the truth, like people will shit on Richard, but I should shit on every other project because I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen that with any other SAC either. So like I don't want to hear it from any other project, but like I haven't seen it from any other project in the RH ecosystem as well that's done that. And there is things that like I would say like there has probably been a big mismanagement of like SAC funds, not in terms of like people putting it in their pocket, it's just people not using it correctly. You have to save capital in order for the bull market, because it's like usually when you do an IPO, ICO, or whatever, or a VC raise, the capital is going to be used in the next 2 to 3 years to try to grow the company, grow the crypto or whatever as fast as possible. Like with some of these SACs and stuff like that, they haven't really. There's ways they can market and stuff. Like it doesn't take that. You got to think of like bro. It's like imagine this. Imagine that I was able to get like let's just say like 100. No, okay, that's a lot. Okay, let's say something more reasonable. $10 million. I could spend $1 million. I could spend $1 million in marketing a year for the next 3 years. Only have used 30% of the capital. Still have $7 million left over. I could put $1 million to have liquidity, have this, dude. Like, bro, it's just like it's like fucking child's play. It's like I don't understand. Like, it really seems like these projects are fucking like stupid as fuck. Like I'm being like borderline retarded. Like, it's not that fucking hard. And it shows you that some of these guys have never run a company or never done anything or never run anything at all or never had employees. Like, if you got 10 million cash money, the whole thing is, okay, my project's going to live or die on this cycle. I got to make sure that my project does really well in this cycle. We do have to. The sad part is you do have to take some profits here and there to refill up the coffers so the thing survives. And then if you can show like, oh, in the next bear market, let's just say in the next bear market, yeah, we funds were 10 million. We whittled down to 5. Now we're back at 25 or 30 million now. What do you think we're gonna do next? We have more capital to fucking do more stuff. We're gonna survive. Or we pay devs, and if the ecosystem dies, we transfer over to another ecosystem. Our holders are still gonna, dude. Like, this is facts. Like, this is just facts. Like, I've seen fucking like, I mean, like, and I like a lot of projects and stuff like that. And like, I'm still hoping out because it's still early. It's still early. Like, this is just a complaint, but it's the truth. But this is just not a PulseChain problem. This is a fucking everything problem. There's a bunch of fucking idiots everywhere. Like, if you got racks, it doesn't take. Dude, people are so YouTubers are so fucking, are such fucking whores. Literally. Like, the reason I'm not a whore is because I got my own products to whore out. Right? Like, if you can't show yourself, what can you shill? Right? I show myself. Like, I'm not bought and paid for it because I bought and paid for it myself. But most YouTubers are broke boys. And you give a YouTuber $5,000, he'll fucking sing the fucking tune of the day, whatever. It's so fucking sad, but it's true. These fucking YouTubers are so fucking stupidly cheap and idiotic morons. 5,000 is giving too much credit. I'm sorry. Maybe $1,000. $1,000, they'll be like, this is the best coin on the goddamn planet. You can buy 1,000 of these fucktards. $1,000, 1,000 fucktards, 1,000 YouTubers. You know, and what, like, literally, if you were really crazy, this would be a lot of work. But imagine, like, 1 month from now, January 1st of January of the year 2024, January, like, I was going to go on this whole tirade of me saying January 1st. Like, I could spend a whole goddamn month, put $1,000 in 1,000 YouTubers' hands, probably a little bit more, maybe like 2,000, 3,000, and just on January 1st, they all YouTube for the next couple weeks about your project. You'd be like, "What the fuck's this project?" That's what projects do, and they do with way less money than that. I don't know, and you still have money left over if you did get that much capital. The thing is, there's projects they don't have that kind of capital, and I'm not blaming projects like that, but there's projects where they got like stupid money. They do have stupid money.
Imagine some of them do liquidity for devs otherwise, but buybacks I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of bullish, man. I mean, now that you're bringing up, we haven't seen that yet. I wonder if we will. Like, that's kind of like a hidden fundamental, right?
Yeah, it's a hidden fundamental. Things like, it's still early. There is things like, all right, I don't want to use the capital right now, but if you really got crazy money, like, what does it cost? Like, dude, $1 million in marketing is so much money. It really is. Like, you got Top G, right? Top G, Andrew Tate. He's offering Elon Musk $1 million a month. He is in a different stratosphere compared to anybody else. Like, he makes tens of millions of dollars. He's extremely wealthy. Like 100 million plus, possibly heading towards billionaire status. He can afford to do $1 million a month. That's what I tell you. Like, that's what I'm telling you. When some of these cryptos have tens of millions of dollars, they can afford to do some crazy shit. Dude, imagine you're spending $80,000 a month in advertising. You can do a lot. You can get on a lot of YouTube channels. You can do a lot of. It's just laziness. It's just fucking laziness, and they're fucking scared they're gonna get hit with something, right? And they're fucking anonymous. There's a lot of shit that they're afraid to do, and they're afraid of working and stuff. And a lot of these guys are doing, like, secretly, they're gonna pocket the fucking money, most of them, and a good chunk of them and stuff. Even if you did, like, I literally, this is why the greed is so crazy to me. You could pocket half of the SAC money. Half of it. That's it. I'm leaving you. Haram, half. I want half. Eddie Murphy. I could take half of the fucking money. Right? If I had 10 million bucks, put 5 million in my pocket secretly. I'm spending and doing all this crazy shit. You still have 5 million there to do all kinds of crap. Most of the projects don't like if you have $100 million of liquidity, people are like, oh fucking yay, this coin has liquidity, or like $2 million. Or you could put $300,000 of liquidity. Boom, there's liquidity. Boom. You still have 4.7 million left. You can do this. Dude, you see what I'm saying? Like it's just mathing.
There's 4,700 YouTubers. You could pay 4,700 YouTubers.
Yeah, but you don't go that crazy. But like, if you just get on big like, bro, like all the biggest channels, bro, are fucking whores, bro. They're whores. They're fucking whore, bro. I got hit up the other day to go on a channel. They were fucking trying to run me up on some cash and shit. Like, they're like, hey, you want to come on the channel? Like, you know, I've met one of these dudes before and stuff. Like, yeah, sure. They were trying to charge. I mean, yeah, bro. It's, you know, but this is what I'm talking. Like, there's a lot of pay to play. There's a lot of pay to play, you know, and it's not that crazy. Now, as an individual user, as a YouTuber, that's kind of you might say that's kind of stupid. But as a project who has the funds, you're like, all right. And it's sad because people shouldn't be watching some of these YouTubers anyway. They shouldn't be, but they are, right? Like all your favorite YouTubers, the top YouTubers, all for sale. Every single one of them is for sale, 1,000%. This way, someone like Richard is pretty like he wasn't for sale, right? But because he was already independently wealthy. But most of these YouTubers, like they got rich from YouTube, and they're not even really rich, really. But like they like lifestyle, like someone said earlier, lifestyle creep is a real thing. Like this, what happens? It does happen to you. Like as you start making money, you start spending more. It does happen, and I don't care, no matter what anyone tells you. From like some of the biggest like I would say financial YouTube channels out here, millions of subscribers, they're spending money like a motherfucker. They're gambling all the time. They're doing all kinds of shit. Like they're fucking whoring. You won't see it. They won't tell you. They'll put a little clean facade. The reason we can see it in crypto is crypto people are a little more libertarian and they're a little more open about stuff. But like I've met some of these big YouTubers in the background. They're fucking degenerates. You know,
their thumbnails scream good people though.
Definitely.
Like the duck faces and stuff. The duck faces are like trustworthy, I think. That's what I've been going off of. I don't know what you've been doing, but when I watch all the other streams, I don't know where I was going to go with that. Anyways, dude, I'm gonna have to replay Gang this myself. I need to go back and listen. That was I don't know what direction you went in, but it was very exciting and it got the people going.
So it's passion. That. It's because no one will talk about it. No one will talk about it, you know, because it's uncomfortable to talk about. Like it really is. There's a lot of stuff we could be doing right now. We definitely, but I get it. On the flip side is that like one of the reasons they're afraid to do it is because they're afraid they're going to get hit with something too. Like I get it. Like there is personal harm here because the SEC's out here doing stuff too. But like, I mean, you still did it anyway, motherfucker. I mean, let's be for real. You still fucking got the set. You still fucking. I'm not talking about Richard. I'm talking about the rest of the ecosystem. You still did it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's not beat around the fucking bush. Like the reason I don't have a crypto project, right? Like I could launch a crypto. I could literally launch a very successful project tomorrow if I wanted to.
You already got the ticker, man. DCC.
I'll probably do something else than that, but why can I do that? Because I built trust. I built trust from the community. I could launch it, and people would believe that I'd come out with something. My face is out here, but there's a problem: is that legally I would get sent to Alcatraz, and there's just a lot of risk. This is a big problem. This is the big problem that the U.S. is having? Is that there's tons of talent here, but like most of the. I mean, if you look at most of the projects that were not like most of the successful projects were not really launched. They weren't really launched with like just foreign money, like with just foreign projects getting popular. It's a bunch of U.S. developers or U.S. money investing in projects in other parts of the country and stuff. They just leave the United States, go to other countries. Even projects that are completely run by foreign teams, the VC money backing them is all U.S. Or there is of course there is some international money and stuff. There is Chinese and Singapore money and stuff like that. But there's a ton of projects that are completely backed by U.S. capital or U.S. Guidance and stuff like that, of like projects that should have been launched here in the States. Instead, they're being launched in foreign countries. There's a lot of that. And when I'm saying U.S., I'm saying Canada as well is included in that as well. UK is included in that. But there's it is what it is. RH coin,
yeah.
RHMax coin.
Sorry, my RHMax coin. No, I think if I launched one, hopefully nobody would believe it. They'd be like, "Nope, hey, I thought that's not the thing. That's not the thing. I don't believe it." So,
Yeah.
sorry if I'm lagging a little bit. My computer sucks right now. But I want to wrap up on this. Speaking of Richard, best guess when Richard come back to stream. You think in January? You think we're going to see him at the HEX conference in January?
I would love that if that was the case, but probably not until we have a little more. If the case gets thrown out, I think he will show up. But like, because I mean, Richard Hart's a good. I mean, Richard Hart's a good dude, but like, there's this whole thing of like, this is why I'm not completely faulting all the SAC project. There's self-preservation. You don't want to like, how can I help the world if I'm fucked, or I'm in trouble, or I'm gonna get like the guillotine? Like, I get it, like that, like that. I understand that, like. That's why I'm not really faulting, like, because like I'd have to be doing the same thing too. Like, imagine if all that shit was happening, you'd be like trying to defend yourself, you know. It just depends. Like, he's in a position, you know, you can Carmen San Diego this thing if you want to, right? Or you can McAfee this thing. You just hope you're okay, you know. But still would be pretty gangster though. I mean, I mean, like, if all shit went bad, I think he would probably like Carmen San Diego McAfee run this shit. If he's already like, well, I'm already in trouble, so like, fuck it, let's do. But you don't want to live like that, you know, which I get. Plus, it's the bear market still. Like, we're still not in, like, Bitcoin's not above its all-time high. You know, we're still like, there's still a discount on the premium on Grayscale, but Grayscale's going to go away anyway. It's going to turn into an ETF pretty soon in January anyway. So we got a lot of crazy things happening in the space and stuff, because that's crazy. Like, this bull market's really about to start. Like, we've got so much stuff, and then Ethereum ETF is going to happen as well. Like, BlackRock's filed for a Ethereum crypto trust, and because that's they're basically so like, fuck, we're not going to get the ETF before Grayscale, so we're going to get the Ethereum side, which is really interesting. So like, you whatever incentives are there, right? So if you're Grayscale and if you're BlackRock and you get your Bitcoin trust, but you're not the first one, and you feel like you got more competition, they're going to put a lot of money and energy into Ethereum, just because like, well, if Ethereum is the one that I actually can make the most money on, I'm going to push it like crazy. Because like these corporations like the Ethereum side more, because they own more of the infrastructure. It's a little more easily to manipulate and stuff, but for us, it's great because liquidity pools, because if that pumps like crazy, all the other altcoins pump, then we got more capital, people are spending, trickle down economics, things are doing good. You know,
get that trumped up trickle down economics. Yeah, shout out.
Trumped up, yeah. It's a place that works.
Like Mitt Romney.
Well, it works in liquidity pools. I mean, liquidity. I mean, you know how the liquidity pools work. So yeah, it's like,
shout out to Mitt Romney, friend of the channel.
One Pulse ETF. I think we can get on like some. I mean, I think KuCoin's possible. That's the other thing too, is like, you do like you don't like, this is the shit that I don't like about like, and like Richard's right about this, right? It's like with HEX and stuff, we didn't want to pay anybody, we didn't want to do it. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Like, you shouldn't have to shake anyone down. You should just want to add, like, if I ran a business, right, I'd like, there's a business side to it. Like, some of these exchanges do need starting coins, right? Or lend me these coins so I can open, like, at the very worst case, you'd be like, lend me coins so once I sell them, I would give you back capital and stuff. But like, we need coins to sell, right? Because we have to buy from the market, right? Like, there is that, right? But outside of that, then they're charging extra money on top of it. Like, they're charging you an arm and a leg, and then they want a certain percentage of the entire supply. You know, there's a big extortion racket there. But as a business, you would think you want all these many coins as possible, because, you know, you'd be able to, like, you know, make as much fees as possible from people trading on your platform or buying and selling, right? But
yeah,
it isn't the case, I guess. Yeah, it is what it is.
Man,
but I'm bullish for the HEX.
Yeah, dude, bullish. If anyone has any doubts, I think me and DCC both very bullish. Many other YouTubers and people in the community are very bullish as well. 4 years flawless operation, fantastic community. Turns itself upside down from time to time. That's okay. We're all family, right? Yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait for 5 years, 10 years. This place, I hope next year we're rocking. Hope in December we're rocking, but I hope summertime, wintertime, any time of the year, 2024, 2025, 2026, may we all have the maddest of gains. And I think this ecosystem was designed for the maddest of gains. That's what I've heard before. So
definitely.
What do you want to take us out on, man?
I'd say hope and stuff like that. Like I'm this passionate about Hex and the Hex ecosystem because I believe in this ecosystem. I believe, and it's really not, it's not the crypto coin that won me over. It was the community that won me over. Like I know that's so dorky to say. It wasn't it wasn't the destination, but it was the, it was the friends we
Always
made
the
along the
journey.
way, right? The friends we made along the
Yeah.
way and the journey and stuff like that. But the most thing I'm most proud of is really just you guys, like everyone in the chat, RHMax, Crypto Coffee, RG3, Kinetics. I mean, everybody, Randy. I mean, all the people that we've like met along the way. Like my life is better because I met all these people and I know these people. And like I hope that I've helped their lives because they know me. That's really what I'm proud of. Like out of everything, like um, that's what I was missing even in my real life is like I had this like weird loneliness because I was really into all this stuff, all this like when it came to money and economics and stuff and coin, but I had no one to talk to, and now I have like a family, and like I know that sounds so dorky and it sounds so like weird to say,
It's
like,
true.
but it's fucking true, like I have the Hex community, I've got like my brothers in arms here and stuff like that, and like I know this is what's so different compared to everywhere else is this community. I don't have this level of community anywhere else outside of just Moon Gang and stuff, but that's still my community as well, and they're Hexkings as well, so it's all the same thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's what a lot of people get out of this. It's not just this, hey, get rich quick scheme. Although depending on market cycles and stuff, we certainly hope the price goes up. But it's a place where you can go and thrive and take your talents and yeah, the description of this channel is become a better version of yourself in the crypto and DeFi space and maybe in life. And that's what I hope this community is able to do. What I'm able to contribute to. So we're glad to have you here, man. I'm glad to be here. I think we can only grow and get bigger brains here because, whew, hex.com, baby. I love it. I love it. Man, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Everyone else, happy birthday, number 4. Local meetups later. Hopefully you're having your own local meetups and onboarding people and getting them into the greatest ecosystem on earth because they ain't nothing else like it. Scivive and 5555. We're out.